I told you guys I'm in San Diego with my family. Where am I? La Jolla. Just at this little old ass hotel. Hotel low-key smells like some shit, but very peaceful. And I wanted to talk about this phone call that I just had. This must have been yesterday. My good friend TK Coleman. He's a part of the Minimalist podcast. And essentially, TK is I would view him as my mentor. I'm giving him that label. But one of the most intelligent and worldly and smart and well-spoken people I've ever met in my entire life. And he said something to me that I thought was really profound. I don't even think he was trying to be profound, but I took it in that way. Essentially, he said, there's so many places that we don't go simply because we don't know where we're gonna park when we get there. And I was like, you cooked. There's so many places we don't ever go because we don't know where we're gonna park when we get there. And obviously, that's true if you're actually talking about actually parking and actually going to an event. And that's true. There's many places and events. All right, I'm not gonna go to the Padres game because the parking's gonna be a nightmare and I don't know. I've never been to one of those. And that's a reason why you might not go to something very fun, is because of the parking. But I was like, how true is that for life in general? Like, I don't wanna start my YouTube channel because what will happen if, we play out these random scenarios of what ifs and, well, if I get there, what's gonna happen? If I start this business, I don't know how to do this. It's like we stop ourselves from doing so many worthwhile things because of these fictitious and hypothetical scenarios that might happen when we get there, or when we accomplish the thing, or when we get close to accomplishing it. And I was thinking about it like, well, is there anything in particular that I didn't do because I was afraid of essentially where I would park when I got there? And I remember, here's an example. So I've done YouTube for damn near a decade, actually more than that. And long form videos was like my main shtick. But there came a time where me and Noah were getting these sponsorships, and it's only for short form Instagram reels. And I was like, oh shit, I don't be doing no short form Instagram. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to use CapCut. I don't edit stuff on my phone. Like, and that is a big ass koi fish. Look at that. Anyway, I basically was psyching myself out of making short form content because I didn't know how to edit. How's it gonna look? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to do all the effects that people do. The green screen effect in the background. I don't know how to do that. And I basically shied away from doing that for so long because I simply didn't know where I was gonna park when I got there. But then I eventually made some videos, learned how to do some basic edits on CapCut. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I think like the first few videos I posted got a bunch of views. And I've actually been enjoying making the short form content. And there's even been some people that came up to me and were like, you're the guy that's on Instagram Reels. And I was like, holy shit. So again, I'm not exactly sure what your guys' big dreams are, visions, plans, or anything like that. But don't psych yourself out before you've even entered the arena. There's there's like nothing but unknowns on the, I mean, think about it. I have her freaking tatted on my leg. Judy Garland from Wizard of Oz. Y'all see this tattoo? Y'all see my girl Judy? She died of a freaking drug overdose. Sad, tragic. The movie The Wizard of Oz. Not sure if you guys are familiar with that. They go off to the Emerald City or whatever, and they're on this big journey, and they follow the yellow brick road and they don't know what's gonna happen, and it's like all a big mystery. But in the end, it ends up being they go through the trials and tribulations and unknowns and whatnot. And of course, it makes for a great film, but also the journey itself, they learn things about themselves. They grow as people on the journey to the freaking Emerald Castle, whatever. So essentially, any journey you embark on is going to be anxiety inducing, because all you have is this much information and you don't know any of this that's going to happen to you. And so we typically shy away from doing things because, well, we don't know this section of the story. And it's basically, I don't know if it's called the law of inertia or something, but essentially we always want to do the most low impact thing or the most low effort thing, because, well, the amount of effort and pushback and resistance and friction that we're going to face when we embark on this journey, it's going to be a lot. So I'll just do the thing I know how to do. Like this weekend, I'll just stay inside, go to my favorite movie theater I always go to, order in some pizza and just vibe, because that's what you know what to do. You know how to do that, and that whole scenario provides you the least amount of resistance. But going to the game, going to the event, going to the networking party, those things have a lot of unknowns, and you naturally don't want to do them because you know you're going to be encountered with emotions you don't like, people you don't like, all that sort of stuff. And even I remember very recently, this must have been maybe a month and a half ago, I was invited to a birthday party and no one else I knew was going. And I was like, damn, I guess I'm pulling up to the function by myself. So I thought, okay, I guess I'm going to this function by myself. And immediately the voice in my head was like, nah, let's just stay in. Because pulling up to a function where you don't know anyone and you're not going with anyone, and the only person you know is the girl's birthday party, who it is, so you can't even talk to her because she's going to be the main attraction for the whole night. So I had the voice in my head saying, oh, you probably shouldn't go, you're tired, it's late. Thank you. Are we going to throw the AirPods next to the pool? I'm just doing my talking video.
Yeah, okay.
So essentially, I knew that going was going to cause me a lot of mental friction. I got to get the Uber to this unnamed location that I've never been to before. I don't know anyone there. It's late. I'm tired. Nothing will happen if I don't go. I can just relax. But I ended up saying, you know what? Damn it, I need to go. You never know who you could meet. You never know who you could meet, what could happen to you, the connection you could make. Maybe it'll just be a fun time. And I went. Everything ended up being super cool. I got a cool Instagram picture. And I met a guy who put me in contact with another guy who did some deal with me, and I made 10 grand. Now that's some LA shit. I know not a lot of people can just go to a party and network and make 10 grand. But to me, I was like, if I hadn't gone to that party, I wouldn't have made an extra 10 grand. That's fucking lit. I mean, I don't know about you, but 10 grand to me is fucking, that's worth going to a little party and losing some sleep. I hope Noah tells this story. I'm not going to tell it for him, but there was an event that he went to, and oh my God, the thing that was gifted to him was more than 10 grand. And I said, and it was, like when he told me this story of when he went to an event, met this guy who knew this guy, and then got gifted something that was the most insane gift I've ever heard of, ever. I remember hearing that and being like, I officially need to go to everything now. I don't care how many events I go to that end up being duds, that nothing happens, it's lame, it ends up being canceled when you get there. F all that, I'm going to everything I get invited to within reason. And if it makes enough sense, or if I can make it there, I'm going, because all it takes is meeting one person, one opportunity, one conversation, one thing for your life to change. So now granted, there's also things where you might not want to do something, you're feeling that friction inside of you, and then you shouldn't do it. Like for example, I've never wanted to go to a amusement park or like Disneyland or some shit. Personally, I hate that shit. I hate Disneyland. I hate roller coasters. I hate tens of thousands of people waddling around with Mickey ears bumping into you while you're eating some overpriced lukewarm hot dog. And then you gotta wait 4.5 hours to get into the ding dong flappy ear elephant ride. That's just not fun to me. And I remember this girl I was talking to at the time. She just really wanted to go to Disney. She said she'll pay for everything, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? I'm feeling that friction. All I want to do is say no. You know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to humor her. Maybe I'll have fun. That ended up being one of the worst days of my life in recent memory. I hated it from the moment we got there, and I still hate it. And to the moment we left, I hated everything. I went on this crazy ride, this drop zone ride, which permanently scarred me emotionally. And that was an example of me kind of going for something and then realizing, oh yeah, I do not want to do this again, and nothing was going to come out of this. I didn't overcome my fear of roller coasters. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. Whenever it comes to events, particularly networking events or places where you could make a good connection or you could learn something that could help you, try to go to those, because sometimes things pay off in ways that you don't even understand yet. Like you might meet someone at one event, nothing happens. You see them again at another event. Hey, what's up, bro? Good seeing you. Nothing happens again. You see them at a third event. They go, hey, I just met a guy who does this and he said he could help you with this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've had connections happen for me years apart, where I met this guy 4 years ago and all of a sudden he meets this one guy who knows this one dude who met this one girl. Oh, and this girl wants to be a part of your thing. One of my favorite quotes: your network is your net worth. So I know so many people are like, oh, I don't like talking to people. I don't like people. People are weird. People are fake. I like my own company. I like my dog. It's just me and my dog against the world. Look, bro, that's cool, but is your dog cutting you checks for 10K? Shit. I guess this is sort of turned into the go out there and network video. You know, we're going to be old, wrinkly, and our legs aren't going to work one of these days. So while you have the juice in you, while you have a little bit of energy, while your knees still work, you might as well get up and go and do that thing. I think about it, I'll rest when I'm old. So yeah, if you're unsure about booking that trip to Seattle or going to this event, or you don't know if you should talk to this person, honestly, just book it, bruh. Book the trip, go to the event. Worst case, nothing happens and you lost 2 hours of sleep. Best case, your entire life changes. I thought about that. I think that's the thing that actually motivated me to go as well. I heard Noah telling me this networking story he had where he got gifted something very expensive. And I said, damn, bro, I got to go to every event. And then when I was faced with that choice, I'm sitting at the edge of my bed. It's like 10 p.m. I'm tired. And big ass dragonfly. And I thought to myself, all right, I don't want to go. I don't know all these people. What's the worst that could happen if I go? You know what? I can show up there. If it's completely whack, if it's completely dead, I can do 2 laps around, get a hors d'oeuvre from the hors d'oeuvre lady, stand at the wall for 5 minutes, and then leave. That would be the worst case scenario. Best case scenario ended up happening. Met this guy who knew this guy. A month later, I made 10 grand. So, and if that happened with that one instance, how many more things did I miss out on? And how many more opportunities are there for me to grab and basically, what's that called? Seize the moment, seize the opportunity. Like there's gonna be so many more opportunities to win and to get a big come up and to meet someone who could change my life. So yeah. However, tonight there's no networking. I'm just with my family. I ain't doing shit.